The Hard Rock Show is brought to you by Evolution Music, Rock Guitar Lessons, Hellfire Records, Merlin Industries, and Saren Cabinets and Shop Fitting.
Welcome to the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew, and tonight is my solo clip show episode for the year. Now, we'll be fading into that shortly. Just want to quickly thank our sponsors, Evolution Music, Rock Guitar Lessons, Hellfire Records, Merlin Industries, Saren Cabinets and Shop Fitting, and A Lesser Ego. Thank you for your support. Now, details are at the bottom of the screen to follow us and everything, like our social media. So, for example, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that sort of stuff. It's all there. And hopefully, if we're doing things right, this is also simulcasting on THRS radio, so that'll be good. Now, we also have our interview extravaganza, more on that coming up at the end, in the gig guide, and then at the end of the episode. But yeah, tonight is a whole bunch of clips that I've chosen, and I'll go to the fade out in a moment, but we filmed it all at our old studio. It was the last thing we filmed in that studio before we had to tear it all down. And literally, after we packed up the cameras, we started ripping walls down. So, bit of history for you all. Hope you all enjoy it. Without any further ado, I'm just going to move along. Without any further ado, though, this is a clip show. And I decided to do my list of clips tonight while Fred gets in the process of demolishing the set. Because after this, we're going to rip it all apart. We did I think it was for July, we did a 2-hour special built around our musical influences and the things that impacted us growing up. And for those that know me well, and for those who've been watching the show for a long time, you'll know that I wasn't brought up on your typical hard rock and heavy metal diet. I grew up on a lot of classical music when I was young. So with that in mind, I'm going to kick things off with a heavy metal guitar version of some classical music. And we're going to start off with Hoffmann, who has a great album out this year, I think it was. But we're going to go with a track, Night on Bald Mountain. Check this one out, this is pretty cool. Now, aside from classical music and that sort of meat and potatoes when I was growing up, it was a lot of church music and things like that as well. And also your more easy listening music. 3MP was a staple radio station in the household when I was very young, so just to embarrass myself some more. But one of the bands or artists, I should say, that I did pick up out of that era of music was Billy Joel. And he is not just the Piano Man singer, he has a very wide array of music, and some of it's pretty fucking rocking. So I'm going to go with We Didn't Start the Fire. Yeah. This is a good track. Again, for those who've been watching the show for a while, or those who know me well, you'll know I have a massive penchant for a German band called Rammstein. I played a few of their clips, so I'm going to play a different German band this time around that I'm not sure I played before, and I think Jimmy and Dave had their first taste of this with an episode a little while back, and this is a band called Subway to Sally. They've been around for quite some time, and I found these ones through an ex-partner of mine. Hi, Steph, if you're watching. And this band is... I grew up with a lot of pipe and drums influence from the Scottish side of the family and that one when I was young, and this isn't really linked to that sort of thing, but this is kind of where I could sort of cross over a little bit into that era, because this band uses a lot of folk instruments in their sound, so the hurdy-gurdy and things like that. It's really cool. So we're going to go with Subway to Sally, and it's an older track called Sieben. Time to heavy things up a little bit, and for this one I'm going to go with a band called Soulfly. And the impact this band had on me when I first got a hold of the debut CD, everyone knows about Sepultura and all that sort of stuff, but when this one came out, it really enhanced on the tribal side of what that Max Cavalera and company were all about. And seeing this band live at the big day out in 99, I think it was fucking insane. One of the best mosh pits I've ever been in. The whole thing was fucking heaving in a circle. It was fantastic. So I'm going to go with a clip from the big day out 99 in Sydney, though, which is Eye for an Eye. fucking heavy track. Check it out. Now, it was the 90s, and we're all big fans of Alice in Chains here, but I do enjoy a bit of Nirvana as well. Here we go. Now, I'm not going to go with the typical track. I'm not going to go with one of your heavy, grungier ones that they're all known for. Now, I think this band is often underrated in a lot of respects. It doesn't matter how technically proficient they were. I know that Dave was saying there's got to be more to this shit because it's so simple to play when you learn to play it. However, the songs they wrote were catchy, good hooks, good lyrics. Not that they meant anything most of the time, but there was something about them that appealed to the generation. So you've got to admire a band that can cut through and nail what a generation is feeling at the time that it happens. And that happens very, very rarely. Going to go with a different one, though. I'm going to go with an acoustic track, and it's a David Bowie cover, which is The Man Who Sold the World. So enjoy. Changing gears again, my first foray into the really experimental side of a three-piece band and what they can do with guitars and different instruments layered into it, and I'm talking about the Tea Party. Jeff Martin is one hell of a fucking showman, one of the best frontmen you'll see going around, and one hell of a fucking talented musician. Gonna go with the song that I found this band on, though I love heaps of their stuff. So much of their catalogue is fantastic, but the song that I found them on is Temptation, and it's a ripping fucking track. Check it out. More from the 90s, and when I was getting more into the industrial side of things, I came across Marilyn Manson. And the first time I'd heard of Marilyn Manson, heard some of the stuff, had some friends that were listening to him at the time, but the first time I saw him was on television. It was the MTV Music Video Awards. And he comes out in this arseless fucking outfit, and the song was The Beautiful People. I'm not going to go with that version, I'm going to go with the original version of The Beautiful People, but that clip and what it meant to see all the rappers that were big at the time get completely fucking freaked out by one scary looking fucking dude who was really angry was something else to watch. And it was just one of those moments in time you'll never forget if you were there to see it. So without any further ado, Marilyn Manson, The Beautiful People. Time for some Australiana. Now, this wouldn't be complete without that. And I'm going to go with the Screaming Jets. I remember, well, it's actually been really cool because I've actually gone from watching this band on television when I was younger to then interviewing and becoming friends with Paul Wassine from the Jets, which is fantastic. But the song is better, and when that song came out, it just killed everything on Australian radio, and it was fantastic. And it's one of those things where if you were there at the time, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's just a great flashback into a really important time musically for me that I was enjoying. So the Screaming Jets with Better. Following on from the Screaming Jets, we have Noiseworks. And I told you I was going to put some Australiana stuff in this one, and this one's more of a fun one. I'm not even sure if this will make the TV cut, but the track is Hot Chilli Woman. When that song came out, it had the same impact. It just went everywhere so fast it wasn't even funny, and it was a cool track. I mean, it was the first sort of time, for me anyway, you saw the experimentation of laid on flame at the bottom of the screen and things like that, and how they were playing on the stage show with the pyro around and stuff. It was a really cool clip at the time that it came out, and hey, I could have gone with Southern Suns if I wanted to, but I've gone with this one instead. So here's Noiseworks with Hot Chilli Woman. Time for some classic tracks, and the first one I'm choosing is from Black Sabbath. When I got a hold of Black Sabbath, that really did change things for me in a different way to the other bands that I've talked about previously. This was experimenting a lot more with what drugs could do to a dark mindset, and listening to the music got me really interested in reading their story and learning more about the band. So it's one of those ones where you hear the music and then you go, fuck, I need to know more about this band and what they were doing when this was all happening. So the story behind the band is fantastic. If you don't know Black Sabbath, then you really shouldn't be watching this show anyway. But anyway, I'm going to go with a different sort of a track, though. Not one of the ones that everyone thinks of immediately. I'm going to go with Hard Road. It's one of my favourite tracks from this band. It's a really cool melodic piece. Time for some Deep Purple. One of the bands I got into a little later in life. And I'm going to go with a very long track in Child in Time. The first time I came across this particular track, not the band itself, but this particular track, was when it was used fleetingly in the movie Twister. And they were playing that, and it was one of the montage of songs that were when they were first chasing through one of the tornadoes, and there was Oklahoma a part of that little fucking whatever track, this little medley they had going on, and there was all sorts of weird shit going on in there. Some classical music, and then you had Child in Time, and watching that little part when that came on was fucking amazing. So that has always stayed with me. So for your enjoyment, Deep Purple, Child in Time. Going to bring things back into the more modern setting now, and we're going to go with a band that I'm not sure how many of their tracks I've played. And when I have played them, it's usually been A Certain Shade of Green, so the band is Incubus. Love this band. I've seen them live 3 times, I think, and they are fantastic live. If you haven't seen them before, then do yourself a favour and go and see the show. Everyone knows their radio-friendly stuff. Back early in the days, they were really, really a heavy funk kind of band, very inspired by Mike Patton and things like that as well. I'm going to go with one of the more commercial tracks because, for me personally, this has a different meaning. It's been one of those tracks that stayed with me for a very, very long time. So this is Incubus with Wish You Were Here. Very cool clip. Keeping with a more modern trend on things, another band that I've come to love and was influential on the band that I was in many years ago, not that anyone's seen or heard that shit, is Devin Townsend. And Strapping Young Lad was the influence on the band, and from there you follow the Devin Townsend and Devin Townsend Project and everything else he does as well, Ziltoid and whatnot. And everything he does is fucking fantastic. I had the pleasure of interviewing the great man, which is a fantastic feat or whatever for us. That was awesome. But I'm going to go with one of the more fun tracks. And if anyone can make basically bubblegum pop be heavy and fun, it's Devin Townsend. If you've never seen the guy live, you fucking have to. If it's an acoustic solo show or if it's the full-blown thing, just do it. Because if you are a fan of having a good time at all and you can let your inhibitions down, you're not fucking one of those elitist fuckheads sitting at the back going, not heavy enough for me. It's heavy as fuck anyway, but it's just so corny, you can't not smile. And this track, I reckon, is one of the best examples of that, and it's Bend It Like Bender. Fucking fantastic. Just check it out. And this is one from me and my partner Jodie, so if you're watching, babe, hi. Now, this is Motley Crue, so sue me now already. But this is a song that, when Jodie was growing up, this was known as her song. And for both of us, it's a really cool one. And one of the best moments I've had in the live music sense is when I was with her. We watched them for the Last Time tour. And that was a really just important gig to get to. We had to get to that one. It was the last time seeing Motley Crue. It was one of her favourite bands of all time. And one of the last songs they played was On With The Show. And she loves that song. And watching her nearly tear up when they were playing it was just one of those experiences for me I'll never forget. And this is from the Carnival of Sins tour, and it's probably been retouched the fuck out of it in post-production, but we're going to go with it anyway. It's a really cool song. Just enjoy it. Last track for me tonight is from Aerosmith, a band that I got into later on, but one of those ones that I keep going back to time and time again, one of the ones that I studied when I was doing my degree and things like that as well. A very important band, very influential band, and I'm going to go with probably not one of the typical tracks for this one as well, because there's another track that I really enjoy from this band, and it's one of the more, not a really laid back track, but it just shows you how diverse a band can be in one song. So it's Sweet Emotion. It's got a great hook in it, so just enjoy. That's it for this week. Hope you all enjoyed it. That's the final solo clip show for this year. And that was the final thing we ever filmed at the old studio space. We had a lot of history in that place as we've just sort of faded out from that bit of history there. Just want to say thank you again to our sponsors, Evolution Music, Rock Guitar Lessons, Hellfire Records, Merlin Industries, Sarah and Shopping, and Alessa Ego. Thank you for your support. Details are at the bottom of the screen, of course. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media channels. There's heaps there to go on with. And we also have our End of Year Extravaganza, which is already in the gig guide, but I'm going to go over it again. December 9, Max Watts. We have Vanishing Point, Terra Maze, Acolyte, Darcy Fox, Lazarus Mode, Destroy She Said with a guest singer, Hayden from Idle Fret, Cicada Stone, Espionage, Sonic Circus, and Sudden State. Now that is our end of year extravaganza, December 9, Saturday, max spots, $25 plus booking fee. We strongly recommend you buy them on pre-sale because it's $35 at the door, but it's going to be one hell of a night, so come and see out the end of 2017 in style with us. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your support while we're at that old studio, and thank you for your continued support as we move into the next phase of our existence. Until next week, where Dave and I will return and do some more of our normal stuff for you, drink up and rock on.
You doing it?
Oh, well, when you're done.
Oh, fuck. Well, you come in and do it again. Go, hi.
Hello, possums.
Hello, possum. Ready?
Yep.
How many fucking clips you got? 50?
Only 15. We just keep fucking waffling on. That's all. I got 3 to go.
Sorry. 2, 1, go.
Fucker.
You want to close it out?
Yep. Let's get this one done.
Last 3, 2, 1, man. Better make it a good one.
You make it a good one.
That chair's low. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, that's the final 3, 2, 1 at this set. Now, as
The Hard Rock Show would like to thank Evolution Music, Rock Guitar Lessons, Hellfire Records, Merlin Industries, and Saren Cabinets and Shop Fitting for their support.